Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen here with life coach Linda Armstrong. Today is Friday, July the 12th, 2019. It is 4 p.m. in New York and 1 p.m. in Los Angeles and 9 p.m. in London, 6 a.m. in Sydney and 5 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. But wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And I have been happily working along on the first episode, editing it all together, Linda. I'm about halfway done with the editing after dealing with a little bit of a software glitch that has been ironed out. And it's fun hearing it come together. I mean, that's just putting the different scenes together and putting in the sound effects and the background noises and the music and all that. It's fun to hear it come together. It's great. I love it. So it's not an easy project. I mean, we're kind of making it up as we go along, but I'm enjoying it. So I figured I wanted to share with everybody that it is coming. I can't give you an exact date yet for when we're going to release, but let's just say I'm projecting it will probably be a week from today, and I'm going to guess it's going to be in the evening. So just giving our listeners a little bit of a heads up there. So that's what's going on with The Grass is Greener. How are you doing? I hope the grass is greener on your side too.
Yeah, it's always greener. I choose for it to always be greener, put it that way.
That's right. Exactly. It's the choice that makes all the difference. In fact, Abraham Hicks, I don't know if you get the emails, the daily emails that they send out, but I've subscribed to those for quite some time, and they had a message today that was almost apropos, perfect for our show just because of how it was targeted, how it was written up. It says, when you manage to stay connected to your energy stream, you always win. And you know what? Somebody else doesn't have to lose for you to win because there's always enough. And I thought, well, that pretty much summarizes what we talk about on Fridays. So there it is.
Yeah. Perfect.
When you're connected to the energy stream, that's a phrase that confused me the first time I heard a similar phrase as that, because I thought to myself, well, aren't we always connected? But then I also realized what it really meant is, are you consciously aware of it? Are you connected in the sense that you are kind of interacting with it and know that it's there and know how to deal with it and so forth? And that's certainly something I have a lot of trouble with. So from that perspective, I understand it. But we're always connected, even when we don't feel like we're connected, right?
Well, we're always connected to something. So what do you want to be connected to?
Exactly.
So what is the energy? How are you defining the energy stream? I think in Abraham's sense, they're describing it as the source energy. Right. That energy that you can flow with and be on your way to everything you want all the time, or you can get detoured in some other energy stream that's going to pull you away.
Yes. Yeah, that's easy to have that happen too, and we've all experienced that. In fact, that's pretty much what all the conversation in law of attraction groups on social media are all about. All the different ways we get diverted from that little destination we have in mind, and learning how to get ourselves back onto the right track. So I don't really have a topic in mind, but as usual, we'll just kind of wing it and see what we come up with.
Well, maybe even what you just said, because you said all of the law of attraction groups are mainly talk about how they get pulled off of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a law of attraction group. But if we keep talking about how we always get pulled off of it, we're going to keep talking about how we always get pulled off of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
It's like you're feeding the wrong energy. You're feeding the energy where you don't want to go.
There was one particular post I saw a few days back, really interesting, because it was somebody had posted something about wanting to come to the U.S., I think. They were asking, how do I manifest coming to the U.S.? And a couple of other people who live in the U.S. and are, let's just say they're rather disgruntled with the state of affairs here, and they were just letting loose on, oh, you don't want to come here. This is a terrible place. I'm trying to get out of here, yada, 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 yada. And a few of us were saying, well, you know, the more you say that, the more you're attracting stuff. And, oh, no, this has nothing to do with law of attraction.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, this is like the best place. I think it's the best place to live. I mean, you have more freedoms here than probably anywhere else, and more opportunities for sure. So it's just a point of view. Like, what do you want to look at? Go live in one of those other countries and then see if you're going to still keep complaining about the United States, right?
I think actually one of those people was trying to manifest moving out of the country. I think that's what her goal was. So we had two different people going in opposite directions, so to speak.
But actually, I wanted to change what I just said, and I forgot what it was I was going to change about that. I don't know. Now I lost it.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what you had in mind, but in general, whenever we talk about stuff like this, it gets so easy to start expressing things in terms of what we don't want. And maybe that's the kind of thing you were trying to reach for there, because, God, I was seeing that so much in that particular post I was talking about. In fact, I love this one comment one person made. I don't think anybody else noticed it except for me, because I was the only one who liked it. But she said, boy, there's an awful lot of contrast going on here. Summarized it. A lot of people talking about what it is they absolutely do not want.
So that's really kind of the point, because they're misusing the law of attraction group, if that's what you're there for, right? Because all you want to do is talk about, I don't know. It feels like, because I don't go there. I don't listen to that stuff. I just don't. It's not in my field to go and be miserable like that with random people, to just join some kind of group energy, which will make me feel better because there's 20 other people who commented who are as miserable as I am.
Yeah, right.
I just don't go there because it's energy. It's like energy. Now, it's different when you go there. I know you go there because you want to see what are people needing to know more or learn more, or how can we help these people who are so stuck in this one mind. That's different, right? To go there.
It's research is what that is. And
you're actually one of the people probably that tries to uplift all those people in those comments, but I bet you get nailed for it too, because
they don't
want to hear that. That's not what they're there for.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not what they're there for.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. It's more like it should be a group of law of attraction group, why it doesn't work.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of people who are members of these groups who do try to uplift and who do try to, help make things better. But like you say, there are also people who are trying to tear down. I find it fascinating because I'm pretty sure the people who are trying to tear down don't realize that they're trying to tear down. I don't think they think of it that way. I think that they're looking at it as if they're in some way trying to, teach somebody a lesson, or, you're focusing on the wrong stuff. You should be focusing on my stuff, or, something along that line. But I bet you deep down inside, they think that they're actually trying to help.
Well, I mean, it still gets back to like attracts like. They're going there the ones that are going there to complain, because not everybody is, right?
That's right.
The ones that are going there to complain, they could just be energy vampires. And because that's the thing, like when some people fuel their own energy by pulling other people into this energy that they had in an attempt to feed themselves more energy. Yeah. So they're feeding themselves more energy, and they're actually feeling better, but it's the wrong kind of energy. And that's the unfortunate part, that they're not understanding that and not getting that. But maybe those people who are given the positive messages can somehow get that across. I personally don't want to go there.
I don't blame you. I actually don't spend a lot of time there. I mean, I had somebody comment to me, I think it was Louis or Bill, I can't remember. Somebody was commenting recently that he sees me in there all the time, and I was saying, believe it or not, I spend maybe 5 minutes a day there maximum, and usually it's like 30 seconds, because I just don't want to spend a whole lot of time for the exact reason you're talking about. But you're right, I like to kind of dip my toe in every once in a while, just kind of take the temperature and see what people are thinking about and what they're talking about. I mean, when Alex and I came up with the idea of doing the audio play, The Grass is Greener, we did that because of what we were seeing in the Facebook groups. I mean, literally, that's where that idea came from. And the basic theme of the first episode is also drawn from those same groups. I mean, the way the storyline that we're telling is not exactly what we see in the groups. It's kind of a takeoff, sort of a variation from what you normally see, because we don't really want to make it look like we're trying to paint one particular person that we saw in the group or something like that. But overall, the feel of it is very similar. And actually, to be honest, I mean, you said that you made the point that hopefully somebody else is trying to uplift them and they're trying to find their own way. Maybe they'll find a way to be uplifted. That's kind of why we are creating the show. I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons we're creating the show. We're hoping people will be uplifted by that as well. So,
Yeah. Or we're just further empowering those that are ready to be empowered.
Yes, right. Exactly.
I don't feel like the people coming to this show are going to be the naysayer complainers.
No, they're not. No, we have the most positive ones on this show.
They have a different energy where they want to hear more of this because they can't soak in enough of it because they realize they have this power within them to create.
Right.
Even if they don't fully understand it, there's a part of them that is woken up to, that's the awakening, right? Woken up to know that they are more and that there is more.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. And that unfolds over time, right? So I think this show, with all your different variety of hosts you have, fill in those gaps, those little cracks, and lift people up, 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 up.
Well, I know it works for me because, I get to talk with everybody and it lifts me up. Literally, I look forward to doing the show every day as much as the listeners do, just for that reason, because I get to talk to a whole bunch of positive people every week. It's great.
So anyway, when I was flipping the cards, I picked up this one, Anxiety in Reverse.
Okay.
And, which is good. So
that sounds good all by itself, just by having anxiety in reverse. That sounds good.
Yeah. So it says, finally, relief. This nightmare of a card reverse could mean one of two things. Either a recent problem is on its way out, causing you to feel more relaxed, or you have mastered the old habit of worry and have freed yourself from the anxiety within. And you stepped away from that worry, right? Again, that's part of this whole thing, the way we're describing the people who want to come to this podcast.
Right.
They're letting go of that crap, They're
exactly.
They're learning maybe new little tips and tricks that they get from each and different perspective that is on your show of how to actually be that manifest they came here to be, right?
And we know that's true because we get people who send us emails and text messages saying precisely that. I always learn something new every time I listen to a show. It's like, yeah, I like that. That's great.
Yeah. So that's really good.
Well, as usual, the first card that you pull is right on the money and absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
It's not me. It's the energy field. It's spirit. It's like,
I guess, yeah.
What we're talking about. What can we say about this? Boom. It comes. That's why it's fun.
It is fun. When the card comes in and it literally is what we just talked about, that's the part that just kind of grabs my attention every time. Like, wow. It was the perfect card. And it's always just the perfect card. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we could either just see how this episode unfolds or we can pick another card.
Well, let's pick another card. I like cards.
Right,
they're fun.
We'll let this card lead us to what needs to be. Hold on. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms.
Oh, hold that picture up again. Oh, I want to see the picture again.
This is the whole deck here.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know what I was seeing. Yeah, all right. I got it.
All right, so let's see what does Spirit want us to talk about next?
And that, by the way, I know I've said this before, but I think you're the world champion in terms of card decks. You have more of these card decks than anyone I've ever heard of. It's incredible.
Well, I have a lot, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who have more than I do.
I don't know. It seems like every single time you're pulling out a different deck. It's amazing.
Well, you know what? This one kind of fell out, so we're going to go with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sisters of the Seasons.
Yeah, you can see that?
Yeah.
Okay, in the upright position. So it says cycles of growth, natural law, and divine order.
Okay.
It sounds like it could be the flip side of everything else, right? The anxiety card.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Number 17. Okay, so it says cycles of growth, natural law, divine order. So when the sisters of the seasons meet you on your path, they remind you that everything has a natural rhythm that obeys a higher law. Just as the seasons magically pass, be reminded that the nature of birth, growth, harvest, and decay cannot be altered. So you keep on your path with determination and discernment, allowing for the natural course of events to unfold. And when you allow for it to unfold, success is assured. So it says, divine appropriate timing is guiding your desires into perfect manifest form. This is a good period to start new things. And, oh, wow, this is like right on time because this is what's happening like with everyone right now.
That's what you were talking about. Yeah, last week you were talking about that.
This is a very good period to start new things as you've moved out of winter into beginning of spring. Continue with patience and be aware of the rhythms of your own opportunities. There will be periods when things slow down and begin anew. Move into fruition and then slow down again in a never-ending natural flow. Be mindful of which sister greets you, for she points you directly at the next, and every moment counts now. So we're always being guided. If we would allow things in divine timing, or even kind of like, no matter what's going on, looking for, okay, there's got to be something in this for me. This is happening to me. I pulled it in. It's mirroring in my life. So it's mirroring something that's time to let go of, because we're moving into a higher vibration. The earth is moving into another dimension of energy where this old stuff with struggle and all of that, it's not going to be there anymore. And so it's coming up right now a lot for some. I know I got a big one going on right now, right? And I could easily get sucked into the negativity of it and the fear and the doubt and the worry and, oh my God. And when I do, then I try to force some action. No, I can fix it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's driven by the wrong energy.
Right.
And even though I know this, I can still get caught up in that. It's so easy to get caught up in that.
Oh, it's incredibly easy.
Yeah.
But
when you're aware of it, you can catch yourself and you can flip out of it. Right.
Right.
So that's the beauty of knowing the things that I know.
Right.
Appreciate that. I can look for what to clear. I can clear it within myself. Okay, so I thought I cleared that already. Why is it coming up again? I thought that's like, look deeper, right?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that allowing piece is the one that I keep coming back to in my own life over and over and over again, because like so many people, I have a tendency to want to micromanage the results. I'm the one who has to make it happen. I have to do it physically. I have to do it through my effort, through my hard work and so forth. And then I have to stop myself and say, no, wait a minute. No, that's not the way it works. You just kind of put it out there and you just let it go. You let spirit and universe just take care of it. It's like an ongoing thing to learn this. I don't know why it is, but it is.
You know what? Yeah, because, and I'll tell you, and I know why this is happening. I know why this is happening to me again. I'm like, okay, I get it. I finally get it. Because it is just because when I'm like, oh no, I just need to surrender, let it go. Everything, this is exactly perfect. This is happening, and with like when I put myself back in that space and I raise my vibration, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever will be, will be. I'm all right. I'm alive. Look, right now everything's beautiful, and you know what? Then solutions come. They just come.
Oh yeah.
I'm not having to figure it out. I'm not having to muscle my way through it. They just drop in. So it's just, and it's like, yeah, that's right. Okay, I get it. So I know for me, what I'm going through is happening so that I can really honestly get it, know it, live it, and be able to help other people to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. When I've done the same kind of thing myself, just wanting to, I feel like I have to come up with the solutions myself. I'm the one who has to do it. And whenever I do that, the solutions are actually arriving, but I don't receive them. I've got them blocked out because I'm determined I'm the one who has to come up with the answer. Yeah. Instead of letting them just flow in. It's like they're right there. They're ready to come in, and I'm not even laying them in because I get so frustrated with, but I got to solve this.
Right. So that's just a program that's running, and we can release that. You can release that,
Yeah.
On that program. You can just even yourself just make the conscious decision every time you notice it, like, no, sorry, old program, old story. Cancel that.
Mm-hmm.
We're writing this new story. Look, you're writing a story and you're putting it in a podcast, like this whole story. You're writing a story, right?
True.
So you're proving to yourself that you can write a story.
Oh, yeah.
So write the story that you want for your own life, right?
That's it, yeah. And in fact, what I'm finding and have been finding is that when I catch myself, because like you said, you can catch yourself. You can notice that you're on the track that isn't paying off, that isn't serving you well. When I notice it, there are a number of ways that I kind of remind myself, but probably the main way is just to say, stop that. That's not where you want to go. Just stop that. Just stop. Yeah. And I'll literally get up from whatever I'm doing and just go take a break. Yeah. Just to stop the flow of that thing. And while I'm taking the break, I'll think to myself, well, here I am again. I was trying to micromanage it again. Yep. Then I'll laugh, and then I'll finally release it, and then stuff will start to flow in.
Right. So you're not going to beat yourself up. You're just, The thing is, you're noticing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And there goes law of attraction. So you notice it, you're like, oh. And you'll notice probably it happens maybe less or less severe. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is totally dwindling out. All right, that's cancel that story, old story. I don't need to go there again. Show me the way,
Interesting thing too, that there are certain areas of life where I'll find, I think probably most people do this, but there's certain areas of life where I'll tend to put up more resistance, other areas of life where I'll put up less resistance. So in the less resistant areas, obviously, I'll get more solutions coming through. Everything's going just fine. In the more resistant areas, I'll have, fewer good things happening, and I'll notice the contrast, and I'll say, it's all working good over here, but it's not working good over there. Where am I resisting? I must be resisting. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm micromanaging again. Okay.
Yeah, but that's good because you see it, and then you can change it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the ongoing thing. It's a daily thing. Every single day. I when I start with my mirror exercises, that's my first thing that I do every day. I look in the mirror. I say, "Good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. You're looking great. I feel good. I love you." And by the way, that stuff that we were working on yesterday, that we were getting in the wrong place, we're sweeping that on the rug. That's gone. Today we're starting with a new day. We're going to start with a new energy today. Just try to get the right track going, just every single day. Yeah. In fact, I noticed that there was one day was it early this week or late last week, where I forgot to do the mirror exercise. And about halfway through the day, I'm thinking, this day isn't going well. What's going on here? And then I remembered, I forgot to do the mirror exercise.
Yeah.
That mirror exercise, or whatever, it doesn't have to be mirrors, but whatever your processes that you do first thing in the morning, boy, is that really important. Just incredibly important.
Yeah, because I know when I don't meditate for a day or two, especially maybe 3, you feel the difference. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oops.
I had to get up early for this, or I had to do and I never got back to doing what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you something. Joel Elston was telling us about something he has been trying the last month or so. And I figured you must have heard of it, so I wanted to see what your opinion was. It's something called Ziva meditation. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Ziva. I can't remember what the woman's name who wrote the book about it, but basically she deliberately tied LOA concepts together with meditation practices and created this twice daily routine that you can do to basically help you get into that space of attracting and manifesting more effectively. And he said he's been having some really interesting results just doing it for the last month or so. So I thought I'd bring it up with you.
No, I'll check it out. I never heard of it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. I think he sent me a link, so I'll send you the link. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So back to basics.
That's what we're doing today, isn't it? Back to basics.
This is Sonia Choquette's deck, right?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Trust your vibes. So let me find that. Back to basics. All right. So she says, your psychic sense and higher awareness are founded on common sense, which begins with properly meeting your basic physical needs. As obvious as this sounds, it's easier said than done for most people, as they tend to live in their heads and forget about their bodies. Mm-hmm. If you neglect your basic needs, your higher awareness will diminish, leaving you to operate on adrenaline and anxiety. In such a state, you miss the finer, more subtle psychic vibrations and you lose your way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She says, self-love and self-care are non-negotiable commitments for the sixth sensory soul, using your sixth sense, right? If you've drawn this card, it's time for you to raise the bar on self-awareness. Assess your basic habits. Are you taking loving care of your body without guilt? Are you getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating healthy and lovingly prepared foods, and getting adequate exercise? That's funny because yesterday I was thinking, I forgot. I've been forgetting to bless my food, love to my food. And it's a really good thing to do, to send love to your food, right? Mm-hmm. If not, you're paying a high price for the neglect and sabotage of your higher awareness. Your body is your greatest psychic receptor, And as a fully committed sixth sensory being, giving yourself these things and paying attention to the higher energies of life start right now. Yeah, because your body, I mean, your intuition, how do you know when you get a psychic hit? You usually feel it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you sense it in some way, right? And when we're depleted, no, we don't really do that. And when we're really in a low place, it's very hard to be in alignment with those higher voices that want to speak to you, or those messages that want to come through. It makes it a lot harder. You're too dense. You can even feel it, right? When you're in that low vibe, you're like,
oh yeah,
right. And then when you're in, light, you're much lighter. Mm-hmm. That's why I love, when I do my work, people usually feel physically lighter. Mm-hmm. It's because we brought so much love and light into the body. Because your DNA, who was it? It was in David Wilcock's book, Synchronicity Key, that I'm listening to now. Mm-hmm. He talks about how DNA has photons in it, light. Your DNA contains light. Mm. And so that's why energy healing is great, because you're bringing that light and that love in, and it goes right there into the DNA of your body.
That's pretty cool.
And then this whole thing with the energy vampires, too, he was hitting on that as well, is some people will negatively affect you to feed your light out of your DNA, basically. They're sucking your energy out. Now you're depleted, like your light is gone. Yeah, your light is gone, because, when you're not in a high vibe and you're down, aren't you dim, dull?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Heavy, dense, dark? Mm-hmm. And then when you start lifting yourself up and feeling better, and maybe you do some nurturing things for your body, you take a nice sea salt bath, or you just decide you're just going to listen to some music, or you dance, you garden, you do something that, an activity that brings you more light, that makes you feel better, you're actually putting light into your very DNA.
That's cool.
Within the cells of your physical body. So that makes so much sense.
That is cool. I like that. Yeah. And plus also, when you mentioned the energy vampires a couple times now, whenever I find myself in a situation where there might be an energy vampire, I mean, I'm never really sure one way or another whether it's an actual person who fits that.
If you feel depleted, someone sucked your energy out. If you've been around someone and you leave feeling depleted, that person drew your energy to it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good way to measure it then. But my point is, I like to remind myself that when I am in the presence of somebody like that and I am feeling that depletion, I like to remind myself I allowed that to happen. I mean, they really can't do that without my cooperation. And one of the best ways we can not cooperate is, vacating the space. Okay, you're going to do some vampire energy grabbing. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm not going to be in the same environment as you. But we can also do it through other techniques. We can do mental techniques. One of the things I love to practice is feeling indifferent about people whose behavior I don't really like very much. I actually like to practice. Okay, I'm interacting with this person and I don't like what they're saying and I don't like what they're doing. Can I feel indifferent? Can I feel like I really don't care? And I'm getting better at it. It's gotten to the point where I can do it pretty consistently, so that no matter how much they're trying to do whatever it is they're trying to do, it's just not working. It's just not working because I'm not letting it happen.
But you know what? One thing I just want to make clear too is they don't necessarily know they're doing it.
Right.
Okay, they're not awakened enough yet. Some of them know they're doing it. I've had it happen to me, and that person's like, yeah, I tend to do that. I suck the energy out of other people.
Wow. That's a great recognition right there. Yeah.
So, but, sometimes they're just not aware of it. But what you're describing is just awareness. You have more awareness of your space and the space around you, right? And how it's affecting you. So yeah, we do let it in, but sometimes we're just not aware of it until it's too late. So that's why the more you become aware and you can sense and feel, that's what she's talking about in this card. Like when you're taking care of your body, well, it's a better tuning machine for you, so that you'll feel when something's not feeling right.
Right.
And you can then, because you said I have a choice, you have a choice to either stay there or not. Now, you could stay there because maybe it's, Maybe it's a family member who you love and you know they have no clue they do this. Like they're not in control of it because they haven't awakened to the fact that they have control. So then like what I would do is I would just draw light to myself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, that's the other thing.
With that bubble around, you know, I like put my little chainmail around my bubble and I'm like, okay, only love can flow. Right?
I mean, I don't worry anymore. Even if there is a situation where somebody manages to draw some energy from me without my, recognizing that it was happening until it was too late, I now know how to replenish my energy. I'm not in the same kind of struggle that they're in where they're trying to steal it from everybody else. I know how to draw energy from inside. So with that knowledge, I can relax. Okay. Oh, well, so they got some energy. Big deal. There's more where that came from. It's not like it's a reservoir that empties and you're done. It's endless. It's as much as you need to draw in. So, even if somebody manages to pull it off, relax. It's okay. Just go inside and pull out some more.
Yeah. You know what? And also trust yourself to know whether that person is conscious or unconscious.
Yeah. Well, if they're in the energy draw state, they're probably unconscious about it.
Yeah, but then there are people who are conscious, like the one person who told me, I'm sorry, I tend to do that. I suck. Like he's conscious, sucking the energy out of me.
But the way I look at him is he's somebody who recognizes it. He's in transition. He's moving from the one to the other.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love that.
Because he's actually really a good guy, but he's got a lot of these problems that bring up stuff for him that he hasn't healed yet. So that was
Yeah. There's a guy that I knew. I haven't seen him in about a year or so. And he's actually a listener to the show occasionally. And every once in a while we'd have a conversation, and in the conversation he'd admit, I'm really not doing what I should be doing. I need to spend more time focusing on what I like and, various things like that. And then he'd within a moment or so, he would go into another thing that he didn't like. And I turned to him, I'd say, don't do that. And he'd say, what? I'd say, don't do that. It's, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
Like you needed the reminder.
Yeah. Because he was not consciously aware of it. It's just
exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's get an animal spirit card. We haven't pulled one of these in a while.
No, you haven't pulled that deck out in quite some time.
Yeah.
Spirit Animal Oracle. Okay.
Yeah.
Why spirit? What do you like about spirit animals? Because I know that for many people, animal figures are quite important. So why are they important to you?
Well, because they carry significance, and I've always known that. And like for me, I'll give you an example. Red cardinals, even the females, but cardinals, the bird, are a big symbol for me. And so when I see them, they're like a message like, yeah, you're on course. And usually I'll ask a question or there'll be something going on. Like the other day I woke up and I had something heavy on my mind, and I went to my kitchen to get to get some coffee going. And as soon as I got to the window, a red cardinal landed on this like plant holder that was right outside the window, right in front of me, like a foot away, like right on the other side of the glass.
Wow.
And it just sat there and looked at me.
Yeah.
A lot of times if they see you in the kitchen moving, the birds fly away. But he was there. He was a messenger. And he's like, listen, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good.
That's nice. Okay. I can see why you'd like that kind of message. That's good.
And then, when I see, and certain animals to me represent people who have passed. So I get messages from, or if something keeps reoccurring with a certain animal or even insect, I'm like, okay, they're trying to tell me something. So I'll look up the meaning of what does the spider bring, or, whatever it is, snake. And,
I should have asked that question to myself a few years ago. Back when we lived in Virginia, our back door, we had a little small deck stairway kind of a thing there. And for quite some time, we would put birdseed out there. We just put out on the deck itself, and birds would come in and grab the birdseed because we wanted to see the birds. And then at one point, we kind of stopped putting it out there. And this one day, it was a morning, it was a woodpecker. Red-crested woodpecker came up to the window and went beep, 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 beep on the window. Like, come on, you got to put the bird seed out. And at the time, I asked myself, gee, I wonder if there's a significance to it being a woodpecker, because woodpeckers are usually fairly skittish. They usually don't want to come too close. and I didn't know what the meaning was of it, so I never really investigated it. But do you have any knowledge about that?
No, we can look it up though. But let me see if they have woodpecker, and no, woodpecker's not in this book.
It's not, okay.
But I would look it up, yeah, because I mean, especially when it happens in an unusual way like that, right? It's not like you're walking past a feeder and there's like 50 birds going back and forth.
Yeah, no, this guy was quite deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if it really takes your attention, you're like, and you notice something about that has really got my attention. Look it up. It's spirit. The spirit's going to talk to us, however, in whatever ways it can.
I do remember there was another incident with a bird, again, living at the same house. I was out mowing the lawn. This is like a 1 acre property, so I had like one of those riding mowers. And I'm riding the mower, and at one point I'm having to cross the driveway to go over to the other part of the lawn. And as I do that, I look to the side, and I see a mourning dove no more than 7 to 8 feet away from me, sitting on the ground looking at me. Now, I'm on a riding mower. If you've ever ridden one of those are loud. Yeah. They're really, really loud. I mean, they would be enough to scare any animal away. And the mourning dove is just sitting there. That's really interesting. Why is the mourning dove there? And I thought about it, and then I finally realized this was about this would have been in 2008. This would have been spring of 2008 because my father died in March 2008. This was shortly after he died. And one of the big things with my dad that I had a connection with him on was mowing lawns. Not because I liked mowing lawns, actually because I hated mowing lawns. He was always after me to mow the lawn. But mowing the lawn was a big thing for him. And I realized that mourning dove, I didn't know what official meaning it might have, but for me it had the meaning of, this is my dad coming to say hello and, see me mowing the lawn. I thought, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. They'll come in ways. One of my brother-in-laws had working construction. He was up on some high building, maybe I-beams. I don't even remember what it was. And he was actually eating his lunch in there. And I think it was a blue jay or some other type of blue bird. It's the East Coast here in New York. It probably was a blue jay. But the bluebirds always, for some reason, reminded him of his father, right? So his father had passed. Sat on the thing, right like a couple of feet away from him.
Wow.
So, it's like, that's
it's a visitation. Right? It's a visitation is what that is.
Visitation, yeah.
Which is cool.
So, don't, pay attention to that stuff. It all matters. If it feels, and the thing is, sometimes you try to talk about synchronicity. That's what this book I'm reading about now, although it's really deep, David Wilcock, Synchronicity Keys. He talks about things with synchronicity. And people who are so skeptical, the first thing they'll do is try to knock it down and find all the reasons why it would have happened.
Well, I was one of those people many years ago. That's exactly what I would do. And
but not anymore.
No, I don't do it anymore. It's like 20 years ago, my sister would have expected me to do that. Now, she's like shocked because I'm doing the opposite. And I asked her recently, well, if I had talked to you 20 years ago the way I talk to you now, what would your reaction have been? And she said, well, I would have fallen out of my chair.
Yeah, but you know what? She was holding that space for you.
Well, that could be, yeah.
For you to catch up to it, She wasn't pushing it on you because she's psychic, right? She wasn't pushing it on you. She was just holding that space for you to catch up. Okay, so I picked the wombat.
The wombat spirit. What does it say in small letters? Be at home?
Be at home.
Be at home, okay.
All right, so let's see what it says. So it says, burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well fed with his family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat Spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all of your experience without judgment through a deep honesty of love and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your own life with your own family and your own tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity and settle into the true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. So that kind of goes right along with Sonia Choquette's card about taking care of yourself, right?
True, yeah.
That's your home. This body is literally our home.
Yes.
Not the house we're in, the body we walk around the planet with.
Well, the house is too, but the body is much more, it's more of an intimate home, if you will.
It is literally your home, because without your body, you're not here.
True.
Well, you could be here, but you're not experiencing the 3D reality.
Right. You're not here for the reason that Abraham says that we come here, which is to enjoy chocolate, to enjoy colors. You can't really do all that when you're in the non-physical. You have to actually bite into the chocolate and taste it in order to enjoy the chocolate.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good card to
yeah, that is good. Especially since it reminded me of chocolate. Chocolate is a good thing. Actually, we've been having a lot of fun with what David Bennett, who used to be a co-host many years ago, what he used to call energy-raising foods, because I imagine it's probably true where you are too. We're kind of at the end of strawberry season, and the strawberries have been absolutely magnificent this year, absolutely delicious. I just had some before the podcast, and they're the kind where you cut them in half, and they're not just red at the top, and they're not just red toward the middle, they're red all the way through, and they're this deep, deep, dark red. And you bite into them, they're just full of strawberry flavor. It's not just pure sweetness, it's got the strawberry flavor to it. It's really strong. Sometimes if I'm really on top of my game, so to speak, I'll just sit there, I'll bite into one and let it sit on my tongue for a little bit, and just let that strawberry flavor kind of overcome me until I'm about to go into a coma because of the shock of it.
But you know what's nice about what you just said? Because you can probably find that anywhere at any time, right? So sure. If you are like in some kind of, that's a great way to boost your vibration.
It is.
Yeah. Just find something like that, something that you can appreciate, something that the earth has given us, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So sweet. You feel it going into your body, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
You know when you're really thirsty and you drink a glass of water and you feel it go into every cell. You ever notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a great feeling, it's happening right here, right now. So you're very much in the present.
Oh, no doubt about it. Even as I was describing it, I was feeling the feeling of the taste of the strawberry down my tongue into my throat. I mean, it was like I was chewing on the strawberry right now. That's how powerful and poignant the flavoring and the texture and the feeling and the experience of it is just by talking about it. It's amazing.
I think you could be a food critic.
Well, Louise actually asked me a question for about the umpteenth time. How hard would it be for us to set up a blog so we can do Walt and Louise's dining adventures? Because we've talked about doing a blog about eating out, but we haven't actually done it yet. It's easy to set up a blog. We just never actually did it.
Start it, because who knows where it's going to go. If she keeps asking you, then maybe it's supposed to be, right?
I'm also trying to I'm trying to be helpful without doing all the work for her. I'm trying to encourage her to kind of take some steps, and she has a tendency to, I'm the technology expert, so let the technology expert solve all these issues and so forth. I'm trying to say, come on, you can get this too. It's not that difficult.
So you set it up, and once it's all set up, put it on WordPress, very easy, right?
Right.
And you just have her, show her, open up the page and say, okay, write it. You write the post.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah. I set it up and actually put the computer in front of her. Okay, start writing.
Save it as a draft. Yeah. I'll just reread it, make a little tweaks to it, add a few keywords, and it's done.
And the best part is we've been eating out a lot lately, so it's not like we're lacking material. So she says to me, well, you write the first one. Well, you were there too. Why don't you write about one? We were at we were on the coast. We're at just below Boston in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And ate at a small restaurant there and had a delicious meal, really, really nice. So there would be our first blog post right there.
Yeah, and you know what? And maybe there's always like a little like paragraph or something, even with quotes. Walt's sensory experience with the food. And it's like you were describing the strawberry right now.
Yeah, right, a strawberry blog.
Whoever's listening to this could kind of go with that and feel it too, right? Because
Sure.
you already set it up.
Yeah, anyone who's ever tasted a strawberry and has done what I did, where you just kind of put it in your mouth and let it melt there, knows what I'm talking about. It's a pretty potent experience.
But I don't think too many people actually do that. So for you to actually write it and put it out there, you're introducing people to something.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's certainly within reach for a large number of people because a lot of people like strawberries.
Well, it could be anything, though. It could be anything. Mango, tomato, anything.
Well, those are all different posts. You got lots of different posts.
It could be a steak. It could be anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Smoothie, some ice cream, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a...
Actually, any favorite food you can do that with. And it's a good exercise because the more that we spend time just savoring whatever that food is that we like so much, the more it literally does, like David Bennett used to tell me, it lifts your energy. It just picks you right up because you're feeling and tasting something that you love so much, and now you're spending time focused on what you love and what feels good to you, which means you're attracting more and more of what you love and what's good to you.
And what's the energy? It's gratitude.
It is. It's an appreciation. Yeah.
That's why it lifts your vibe.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. You're right. Okay.
So I'd say if she keeps bringing that up, you set it up, make it easy for her. She's in control, but you give her the little blurbs now and then about this, unless she can do that too.
Well, she's certainly creative enough to write her own stuff. With her, she'll be great at coming up with the idea. It's the follow through that will sometimes, falter a little bit. So I like the idea of setting up the blog and then taking the laptop over to her and setting it in her lap and, okay, here's the first page. What do you want to write about the last thing we did?
Yeah.
See how that goes.
I think it'll be good.
So look for Walt and Louise's Dining Experience blog coming to a blog registry near you.
Before you know it, you'll be like the food critic couple.
Well, that's an interesting choice of words there, because that's also the choice of words that she used, being a food critic. And you know what? I don't really want to be a food critic. What I want to be is a food celebrator.
Yeah, but critic, you're taking it the wrong way, because critique, all it means is giving an expression of something. People, I learned this when I was in art school, right? Because you think critique, they're going to criticize me. I did something wrong. No, maybe they're going to tell you how beautiful that was.
Mm-hmm.
And what great talent you have. And wow, wouldn't it be awesome if you decided to add a little purple to it? That's criticism doesn't have to be bad.
No, it doesn't. No.
Maybe
I was thinking about the way that most people tend to use the word. That's why I was using that word that way. Because most people think of a critic as somebody, literally, all you have to do is look at the typical food critic out there and whatever they're writing about. I don't care what the topic is. Like 80% of the articles is about how they didn't like certain stuff. So,
that's why we need you all.
That's why we need me.
And you know what? You can call yourself to something, and the title could be food critic, but it doesn't have to say that in what you call yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you use the word critique. Like a little flair in there. Critique instead of critic.
For me, that's why I choose the word celebrator. Words actually don't matter, but they do matter in the sense that we have certain associations and certain vibrations that we put to them. And that's what matters. So whatever word combination is the one that feels good to you, that's the one I say go with. So for me, that feels good to me, so I go with that. Okay,
you know what? I actually just saw? That the only time you ever post your critiques, your celebrations, is for the good stuff. You go somewhere you don't like their food, you don't post about it because you don't need negativity. You just want the positivity. So people want Walt to come, and they don't have to fear that they're going to get a bad review because you only publish the good one.
That's a good point. Yeah, that would actually be very powerful.
Oh, yeah. And guess what? You have to wear purple because for some reason the purple is done with your purple there, and because it's so uplifting, right? That's how you do it.
Okay. So purple's going to be the color.
People will never say a word unless they really liked it. And boy, does everybody want to get that critique.
That's a challenge because it is easy to say something negative. It really is. I don't care how positive you are. It's still easy to do. So for me, the challenge is I got to make sure each time I am only writing about what I like. And that's a good challenge. I like that challenge.
But you can do that. You can easily do that.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah.
I didn't really care for that restaurant too much. I'm not going to write about that one. Okay, let's go to another one.
Yeah. That falls into the category of being mindful, I guess. Paying attention. Is this really one that I want to write about? No, probably not. I'm not going to write about that one then.
Yeah, let's break the mold. It doesn't have to be a certain way.
That would be interesting, though. Yeah.
Really
Okay. I'm actually intrigued. Up until now, Louise was the one who wanted to write the blog. Now I'm thinking I want to write too. So this is good. This is good. Yeah. It's important to focus on things the way you want them to be rather than the way you don't want them to be. That's what we're illustrating right now with this little example of the blog critic or the critic, the food critic blog.
And then you know what? And you also have like a tagline or something. We only ever share what we love.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
make it clear. It's not going to wind up over here.
Yeah.
You got to make food we love, right? So you find some clever way of saying that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it could be kind of fun.
Which is kind of reassuring in one sense, because if they don't like your food, you're not going to show up in the blog. So you're not going to get humiliated for having put out food that they didn't love, or that we didn't love.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know what? This could be just a fun hobby that you guys do that if it has legs, it's going to explode.
You never know with something like that. Yeah. I do believe, and this is one of the reasons that I started doing the podcast and invited you on, invited others on, is because I really do believe that we need to have more I-like experiences. Things that we like, that we enjoy. We need to spend a lot more time, all of us, no matter how advanced we may be, no matter whether we're beginners, no matter whether we've never even heard of law of attraction before. We all need to feel better.
Right.
And so that's why I started this podcast, and that's why I like the idea of starting this as a blog. It's another way to feed that good feeling energy stuff.
Right, because it's just another way to share the love. It's all about sharing. I mean, that's where we're moving to. And those people who can share the love and want to bring more love and enjoyment to other people in whatever way they do it, as long as that's the intention and that's people feel that energy, that's how everything evolves in the good way. Yeah.
I was also, as we were sitting here talking about this, I'm thinking, there's sometimes Louise and I will go to a restaurant and some of it we like and other parts of it we aren't so crazy about. We don't care for. And I'm realizing, well, I can still write about that restaurant just on the part that I like. I don't have to write about the rest of it.
Right.
So I don't have to exclude a restaurant just because there's some part of the restaurant that I didn't like. I can talk about the parts that I like and just leave it at that.
Absolutely. And what if by talking about the parts that you like, you actually boost that place up with new life to want to make all parts of their restaurant likable?
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. Well, we know we can influence people. I mean, there's a great way to influence people for sure.
So if that's the energy you hold it and bring to it, I mean, it's like I'm thinking of Dave Ramsey. He's really a softie, but it doesn't always come off that way. Only because he's coming from love. Listen, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to rekindle your dream. Right? Where's the passion? You lost your passion. What happened to it? And it changes. And the people who are able to hold that really make huge changes. Right? Have you ever watched some of his shows?
I haven't watched a lot of it, but I'm aware of who he is. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. So he's one of those people who people think are, because he can be tough.
So he's the one who goes in and fixes restaurants, isn't he? He's like...
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's not like restaurant restore thing, whatever.
No.
He teaches, they change the decor.
Right.
The food. Yeah. They get usually there's no management because people have lost their desire and the place is crumbling and they're in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Right.
They have this opportunity for him to come in and help them. And some of them actually go with it and make the changes that they wanted. Others change it because they're so stuck in their freaking ego that they're right and he's wrong. He's got I don't know how many restaurants he has that are successful, right? He's got this huge, I don't know what you want to call it, of what he does. And they think that they know better. And then they fold. Their place goes under, right? Yeah. But always he goes there and he'll take abuse from people. But it's always, you can feel it underneath him, at least I can feel it, is just he wants these people to succeed. And he's going to have to, if he has to shock them into it, he's going to shock them into it. But the end result is we're going to bring back your passion and restore this place.
It's interesting, too, that he chooses that field. I mean, obviously, that's his field. Food is his field, so that's why he's doing that. But I remember talking with a business broker recently who was commenting that he never takes on clients who are trying to sell restaurants because there's so much about them that restaurant owners are trying to deceive people about how how much value the restaurant really has, how much volume it really does, how much it really does pay its people. They very often are paying people off the books. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff with taxes and so forth. And this business broker, he just doesn't want to be a part of any of it. Well, what he's seeing and what he's looking at is what we might call the senior side of the restaurant industry. Ramsey doesn't see that. I mean, he does, because he wants to make sure that whatever restaurant he's trying to help actually gets into a positive black cash flow. But he doesn't focus on, oh, this is so terrible, this horrible thing that's going on. You're doing all this crazy stuff. You shouldn't be doing all that. But he doesn't stay there. He says, let's go do this other thing instead. He has a different focus. He has a focus of, I see what's wrong. Let's turn over to right. Here's where things working. If we'll just go over to here.
Yeah. But he actually fixes it. I mean, they all their equipment, everything. I mean, what a gift. Some people do throw it away, and some people fly with it.
Yeah. To me, the contrast there is interesting. You got two different people. One person won't have anything to do with it. The other person, the exact same field, loves to have something to do with it because he can see where it can go. Just two entirely different perspectives about the same thing.
I think I lost you. Who are the two people you're talking about?
The second one is Ramsey. The first one is this business broker that I was talking about a few months ago. His perspective was negative. No, not going to have anything to do with it. Everything's wrong. Everything's terrible. Not going to do it. And then you have Ramsey saying, well, yeah, this is bad, but we can turn this into good, and we can turn this into good, and we can turn a different perspective entirely.
Well, but it's also two different things, though, because Ramsey wants to help that person who owns that business to turn into something that maybe that guy, the other guy, would say, yeah, this is good. You can sell this.
Well, but that's the point. The other guy would never. The other guy said he will never ever sell a restaurant. He doesn't care how good the restaurant is.
He'll never ever sell a restaurant.
He will never sell a restaurant. He says they're always bad. That's what I'm saying. His perspective is you can never trust a restaurant owner.
Okay.
Yeah. So two different perspectives. Anyway, we got a few minutes left. I want to make sure that we get our announcements in there. So be sure that you're subscribed to the podcast so you get all 5 episodes that we do every single week. It's really easy to do. You can actually find us now on virtually every single podcast channel that's out there. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. I mean, we're literally in all of them. Just do a search for LOA Today. But if you're not finding it there for whatever reason, or you're just confused, just go to our website, loatoday.net, and you'll see instructions right at the top of the page. And just follow them, click, and boom, you're done. All of our episodes are coming right to your smartphone or laptop or whatever you're using every single day that we publish them. And you can also now watch us live on YouTube or just watch the recording on YouTube in case you want to see our happy faces as we're doing the podcast. So feel free to go to YouTube and do a search for LOA Today podcast videos. We'll pop right up, click the subscribe button, and then click the little bell, and that way you can be notified every time that we put up an episode. And also, Linda is a magnificent YouTuber. She's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and she has about 5,000 more YouTube shows than I do. So you want to check her out too. Linda, how do they find you on YouTube, and how do they find your coaching service too?
Just lovemylife.coach is my website. Everything you need to know is there. You can search Linda Armstrong Energy Healer on YouTube. You'll find me. But even on my homepage of my website, I have a little bar that has like YouTube shows. So you can click right over
nice.
From there.
Yeah, that was a good move. Yeah, putting all those up there because that way they can find it. Even if they can't find it, they can still find it, which is great.
Like the last 3 episodes will always be right up there.
That's good. We normally talk about this. We didn't bring up what you recorded recently, but what's the most recent video about?
What was the last video? I don't even remember. I did that commercial.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're going to have a commercial in the first episode. Yeah, that's right.
Before, I think it was the July Energy Update.
Oh, okay.
I'm due to shoot another one probably in the next day or two.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then keep your eyes open for that. So thank you, Linda, for your wonderful, lively insights. As usual, you have the most wonderful, energetic perspective, and I love hearing it every week. So thank you for joining me. Yeah. Thank you to our live stream listeners. Thank you especially to our podcast listeners, without whom we would not have a podcast. We really appreciate you so much. And we'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody. Stop live streams.